Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Mabrouki Malik. I'm a computer science student and a penetration tester at Red Fox Labs. And today I'll be presenting a workshop, or I should rather say a presentation about cybersecurity certifications, which is brought to you by Code Labs Academy in collaboration with the Red Fox Labs team. So before getting started, I'll go through the summary of this workshop. So first of all, we'll see what are actually cybersecurity certifications. Next up, we'll see what we should be expecting from a cybersecurity certification. And then we'll try choosing the right certificate for you. We'll try asking the right questions to decide which certification is the right one for you. And finally, we'll cover some example certifications that are pretty common, and we'll try to compare between them. So let's get started with what are cybersecurity certifications. So basically, cybersecurity certifications are basically proof that someone has the required skills and criteria in certain levels of certain topics in cybersecurity. And these certifications generally come in the form of academic or professional programs that cover a collection of cybersecurity lessons. And the requirement to earn these certificates usually boils down to finishing the lessons of the program, or passing a final exam that may contain multiple choice questions, or even completing a final project. And the time to complete a cybersecurity certification usually depends on the certification itself. For example, entry-level certifications usually take a few weeks to finish, as opposed to more advanced ones that can take a year or even more. So this has been a quick definition of what cybersecurity certifications are. Next up, we'll see what we should be expecting from a cybersecurity certification. Basically, most cybersecurity certifications offer pre-recorded video lectures that cover certain cybersecurity lessons, mostly practical ones. And they're usually accompanied with textual versions of the lessons, which contain more theoretical details and more details in general, so that you can assimilate the lesson better. Also, the certification program comes with dedicated practical labs to test your newfound practical knowledge. That's really useful in cybersecurity, because it's all about practice. And moreover, throughout the certification program, you are assisted by cybersecurity experts who have been in the industries for so long, so they know the ins and outs, the things you shouldn't, the mistakes you shouldn't do, and so on. And finally, just as it has been mentioned before, you can also expect a final exam or project to complete, or maybe even both, as proof that you have acquired the required knowledge. Moving on now, since when you start looking for cybersecurity certifications, you'll find a lot of certificates to choose from. And if you choose one that's not really suited for you, that can be real bad, because you can later realize that you wasted money and time for nothing. And that's why we'll get to see which questions you should ask yourself before choosing a certificate to pass. So first off, you should be asking yourself, what experience do I have? Try to enumerate all the cybersecurity concepts that you are relatively comfortable with, and compare them with the prerequisites of the certification. If you feel like you're missing just a few prerequisites, you should probably work on them before deciding to take the certification. And though if you see that you're missing a lot of prerequisites, that certification is probably not right for you, and you should probably start looking for other ones that match your skill set. But of course, that doesn't mean that you should not ever pass that certificate, because with time, and probably with passing other certificates and so on, you will reach the required level to pass the more advanced ones. Next up, you should be asking yourself this question, which is what positions are available. Because if you're looking to get hired for a cybersecurity job, then you should probably look at what the market demands. That's because since most cybersecurity job positions require some certifications as job requirements, that is, of course, to validate the knowledge you pretend to have. And finally, you should be asking yourself these final questions: what are your goals? Because if your goals aren't aligned with the goals set by the certification, then you shouldn't probably pass that certification. And that this phenomenon occurs usually with people who just follow their friends or other people they know. They see them that they are passing some kind of certification, so they think, that I probably should take that one too. But usually your goals aren't the same. Just like we said before, the experience is not the same, so you should make sure that the goals align with the certification's goals. Next up, let's take a look at some of the most common cybersecurity certifications. We'll start with the most famous entry-level cybersecurity certifications, which is named CompTIA Security Plus. This certification is usually recommended for people with at least 2 years of experience in security-focused IT administration. So people who have some experience with the Linux system administration or Windows system administration should probably take a look at this certification. But if you don't have this kind of experience, then you should probably work on it. It shouldn't be that complicated, but of course you should. Other than that, the final exam is 90 minutes long and consists in multiple choice questions. And the score for the exam is rated on 900 points. If you get at least 750, you can pass the exam. And finally, the exam costs $381. Next up, we'll take a look at this intermediate level certification, which is also quite known. It's called Certified Ethical Hacker. It's more commonly referred to as CEH. This certification is recommended for people with 2 years of experience in information security, not anything too specific in information security, just information security in general. The final exam is 4 hours long, and it also consists in multiple choice questions. And getting 70% of questions correct is enough to get the certificate, to earn it. And finally, for the cost, it's $950. I have to note that with each certificate, when the level is higher and the value of the actual certificate, whether that would be on a job level or something else, as much as the certificate's value grows, the cost naturally grows with it too. Now, finally, let's take a look at more advanced cybersecurity certification, at least relatively to the certifications we covered before. It's called the Offensive Security Certified Professional Certification, more commonly known as OSCP, which is an advanced certification compared to the ones before, just like I was saying right now. And it's regarded as one of the most prestigious cybersecurity certifications. For the recommended experience, it's first of all, it's very solid understanding of TCP/IP networking, so you should probably be comfortable with networking concepts if you're trying to pass this certification, the exam for this certification. You should also have good experience with Linux and Windows administration. And finally, you should also be quite familiar with Bash and Python scripting. And if you have experience in cybersecurity, that should really help with that. I mean, practical experience. Also for the exam type, this one it's different than the other ones. There is no multiple choice questions. It actually consists in live penetration testing of a set of intentionally vulnerable machines. this exam lasts for 24 hours. What we mean by penetration testing is, so you get a set of vulnerable machines, and your goal is to try and compromise them. And that means you try to find security vulnerabilities in these machines and exploit them to get administrative access. And usually these machines are created usually these vulnerable machines are designed by cybersecurity professionals who craft these machines especially for being quite exploitable, and that's the goal of the exam, to try and find vulnerabilities and write in a report in the end. And the passing score is kind of dynamic. It depends on the actual final exam. For example, if you get 4 vulnerable machines, for example, that's not necessarily how it goes. But for example, if you successfully compromise 3 of those 4 machines, you get to pass your exam. And finally, for the exam cost, it costs $14.99. And there is an additional $249 per each retake of the exam. That's about it for today's presentation about cybersecurity certifications. I hope it was useful and informative enough. And thank you everyone